Hello and welcome out to everybody on Wrestling and to SummerSlam out of 10. The annual PLE takes place at MetLife Stadium, New Jersey this year, and this was the first time we're getting 2 nights of action. Saturday night have 3 title defences and a big celebrity match, but we started things off with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso taking on Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed in tag action. As Big E points out in the pre-show, this was the first time the OTC had opened a show in for years. Bray Wyatt sang God Bless America, followed by Drewski narrating the opening video. Then Cardi B came out as the host of SummerSlam to welcome us to the show. Jay had the first entrance, getting the crowd on his feet, and the bell rang, and all 4 men brawled immediately. The Cousins knocked the Bronze out of the ring, and then Uso asked for his music to play again so he could dance some more. Jay ended up diving onto everyone after Reed pulled out the OTC of the ring. Wasn't successful as Uso being cornered and double teamed. The Bronze kept Reigns down at ringside while isolating Uso. The match started hot and then slowed way down while Reed and Breakker controlled the pace. At one point, the heels prevented a tag to keep Uso in the ring. Once the OTC got the hot tag, he went after Breakker with everything he had. Both he and Reeves hit big dives before Breakker sent the OTC over the announce table. This was probably one of the best choices to open the show. It felt like a series of planned moments with really good action in between. The pacing got better and Reigns and Uso hit 1D's tag finisher but were unable to get the win with it. The Tribal Chief then saved Uso from a spear, which allowed him to hit Reed with a splash to get the win. A fun opener, especially during the second half. And yeah, this gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Next up, it was Judgment Day versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss for the women's tag titles. As Bliss and Flair tried to decide who would start, Rodriguez and Perez chose for them by attacking them and tossing the Queen out of the ring. This led to the 2 smaller members of each team beginning the fight. Flair tagged in a few minutes later and ended up being double teamed for a long time. Perez and Rodriguez used quick tags to keep themselves out while dishing out punishment. They kept a brisk pace throughout the entire match, which kept the crowd invested. All 4 were working hard to make sure they put on something completely different than the bout before. There was a little lull action while Bliss was being kept away from Flair, but it didn't last too long. Bliss accidentally hit Flair with a big right hand when Raquel avoided the impact, and that allowed the Judgment Day to regain the upper hand momentarily, but not for long enough. Flair took out Rodriguez with a big boot, while Bliss hit Perez with Sister Abigail for the win. Even with a predictable ending and a couple of hiccups, this was a solid match. Bliss was definitely the standout here, so yeah, I'm going to give it 6 out of 10. I'm very intrigued to see what they do as champions. Karrion Kross then took on Sami Zayn in a rematch. Once the bell rang, Zayn tried to counter Kross for some shoulder thrusts, but the heel immediately fought back. The first few minutes were competitive, but definitely Zayn in control. Kross used the burning hammer to get the upper hand. The former IC champ then avoided an attack with a steel pipe, hitting a blue thunderbomb for 2. He picked up the pipe, and Scarlett was actually encouraging him to embrace his dark side and use it, but he was tossed out of the ring. In a somewhat surprising outcome, Zayn won clean with a lever kick. It felt like Kross was losing due to their previous encounter. The match didn't last very long and didn't have much to take from it either. It was decent, but could have been better. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. And yeah, I think the match like this really does raise long-term doubts over Karrion Kross's WWE future, which is a shame to see. The Women's Championship was then on the line as Cargill challenged Stratton. Tiffany's a strong competitor and is rarely the underdog for a physical standpoint, but Cargill was taller and more powerful, so she had the advantage right out the gate. The challenger took the fight out of the ring and hit a suplex on the floor, but as she went to get back in the ring, Stratton attacked and hit a suicide dive. They did a good job using their combined strength to hit some impressive moves. This felt like a make-or-break performance for Cargill. She clearly came in looking like she's proven to be a performer. She hit her finisher. Stratton was too close to the ropes for her to get the pin and the win. She stayed on the champion and set her up for Jaded from the middle turnbuckle, but the champion countered out of it and hit the prettiest moonsault ever for the win. While most of this match was good, it was an abrupt finish. It seemed like the perfect opportunity to give Cargill her first title, but WWE had other plans, which yeah, was a bit of a surprise, but I'm intrigued to see where we go here from here, to be fair. Not mad with Tiffany still being champ, I've got to say. 6 out of 10 from me. Next up was Jelly Roll and Randy Orton taking on Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. Jelly Roll stepped into the ring for his first match alongside Orton to take on McIntyre and Paul in the penultimate match. Tons of fans on the outside were singing Logan's an outsider. The social media megastar reacted angrily, obviously with Jelly Roll there. Paul took a cheap shot at the singer before the bell, so he tagged her right away so he could face the U-shaver. Jelly Roll surprised Paul and took him down, so McIntyre tagged in to take over for him. Orton wanted the tag, but Jelly wanted to test himself. The Scot took a few shots before he knocked the musician down with a headbutt. This led to a few minutes of the heel punishing JR and keeping him away from the ring. McIntyre put Jelly on the announce table and pulled Joe over the top rope to put him through it. This was the spot of the match, and the Viper spent a lot of time on defence as officials by tendering to his teammate. The crowd was going nuts for everything here. Jerry Roll came back to the ring, got a huge pop. This is one of the bouts where quality was second to everything else. The wrestling did a good job, but nothing special. But it was playing to the crowd, and Paul hit a splash to get the win. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Yeah, it probably wasn't the greatest celebrity match I've ever seen, but it did have fun spots in it. I think it's interesting that he always got the win here as well. It does kind of make sense. But yeah, I thought it was pretty decent. The main event of night 1 saw CM Punk challenge Gunther for the world title. The straight edge superstar was the heavy crowd favourite as Punk chants echoed around the stadium. When they finally did, the William Henry showed off his partner by backing Punk into the corner. They weren't in a rush to make it a fast-paced match. They spent time working on takedowns and submissions. It took a few minutes before they began incorporating strikes. Once the Henry started dishing out his trademark shots, he was in firm control and had Punk's chest red within minutes. Where everything they did looked good, there was something about this match that felt off. It was like something was missing, but it was impossible to figure out what. They were doing everything right, but it just lacked the level of excitement that was expected until it was almost over. Punk was bleeding from the chest after sustaining so much damage from Gunther's shots. It felt like every time the straight edge superstar built momentum, the champ would put him right back on the back. A rare mistake from Gunther allowed Punk to trip him on the announce table when taking control. The ring general was a bloody mess when he returned to the ring. The last few minutes of the match had the crowd on its feet, and after hitting the GTS twice in a row, Punk pinned Gunther to win the world title. The crowd watched as he got emotional when the ref handed him the belt. However, Rollins came out on crutches to issue a warning to Punk, enjoy it while he could, but then revealed he wasn't actually injured. The Visionary ran to the ring and began fighting Punk. He hit him several times with a briefcase before handing it to the ref. He hit a stomp to pin the Punk and become the world champion. Wow. I kind of didn't see this coming, but still when he removed the crutches, it was an incredible moment. And yeah, Punk v Rollins, their rivalry takes another chapter. A really fun match, pleased for Punk, and then having it ripped away. I think it fits in the story well. Shorter title reign and Drew as well was also a nice little touch. I'm very intrigued to see where this is going to go next. It gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Overall, night 1 of SummerSlam gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't, a brilliant show. Not kind of what you'd expect from the first night of the second biggest show of the year, really. There were some fun spots in it, including the main event, but except for that, I'd say there wasn't much on it that really stole the show per se. This video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.